In this video, we're going to be comparing the Ego 765 CFM to the 670 to see which one is better for drying your car. So without further ado and hopping straight to the point of this video, let's first take a look at the 765. Now, know what you're thinking to yourself right now. Both of those blowers seem to dry the hood of the car off just as quick as the other. So let's do a quick replay of those two and take a closer look. So after watching both those clips, I'm going to let you as the viewer decide which one you think is better, which one you should buy. But we're going to continue on in this video. I'm going to show you some more drying clips. Then we're going to take an up-close, detailed look at both blowers side by side. We're going to talk about weight, how heavy they are, battery sizes, as well as how easy they are to hold and maneuver, because there is a difference when it comes to holding these devices and how they're constructed. Okay. 670, drying the side of the car off. Alright, so I got the 670 and 765 side by side. We're going to compare these two. Now, the first thing that stood out to me and that I noticed is how much heavier the 670 is compared to the 765. So I was very curious based on the weight difference and actually decided to weigh both of them. The 670 came in at 4 pounds. The 765 came in at 4.2 pounds, essentially the same weight. And with the batteries on them, they both weighed exactly 9 pounds. And now, as you can see, the 670 isn't quite as well balanced as the 765. Now, that's probably just because it has this better base on it, but when you're holding them, the 670 is definitely more front heavy. And while they both weigh the exact same, the 765 has the weight distributed more evenly, whereas again, like I said, the 670 it's more front heavy. Okay, so now that we've talked about the weight of both of them, let's take a look at some of the main differences between the two. So the first thing that stands out and that you will notice is you have this much more exposed middle area right here for the fans versus it's a lot more concealed on the 670. You also have a much larger grip handle down here, which makes holding this and maneuvering it to wash your car way easier versus this one. There's not much space between the operating device and this one. This one, you got a ton of space to stick your hands in here and hold it. This one you don't. Some other minor differences you'll notice is on the 670, you've got the cruise control button right here that says high, on, off, versus over here on the 765, with the cruise control button, there is no high, on, off, as you can see right there. They also have the Power Plus logo on top versus being on bottom right here. So just some very small, subtle differences. Also, I noticed that the 765 in the box, it came with a shoulder strap, whereas this one did not come with a shoulder strap. Now, another thing worth mentioning to you guys is that I noticed the battery sits very loosely in the 765. So if I hold it, look at that. The battery jiggles around a lot. Versus if we take a look at the 670 over here, holding it the same way, it's not that battery is not jiggling at all. Like, I'm moving the entire thing versus, again, going back to the 765, that battery is jiggling around. Now just for comparison, I went and took the 4AH battery off of the 760 and I put it on here. As you can see, it jiggles the exact same. So there's nothing wrong with the batteries. It's the way that the battery holder or fitment is designed on the 765 versus the 670. Now, is that technically a design flaw? Is it supposed to jiggle around like that? And does it really matter? I'm not sure. If you guys think that's a design flaw, or like if yours jiggles as well, maybe that's just the way it's supposed to be. But I thought that was very interesting that the batteries fit very snugly on the 670, but they kind of jiggle around a little bit on the 765. Now, I'm not saying they're super loose and they're gonna like come flying off as you're using the device. So let's talk about the price difference between these two real quick. Normally the 670 is going to retail for about $280, and the 765 retails for around $329. Currently, both blowers are on sale. The 670 is on sale for $249, and the 765 is on sale for $299. That's the lowest prices I've seen either one go. Now, with the 765, with that more power, you also do get a bigger 5AH battery. I've never had battery issue be a problem with either of these blowers. After drying off an entire car with both of them, they each still have 3 bars of battery left, which is more than enough to dry your car off with, and that's exclusively using turbo mode only. So yeah, after watching this video and kind of seeing the power differences between the two, in terms of drying your car off, you know, it's a you decision. You can decide if it's worth spending the extra, 30, 40, 50 bucks to buy the 765 versus the 670. My own personal opinion, I don't think the 765 is worth the higher price tag. And as you saw for yourself, if you're purely buying this blower to dry your car off with, I don't think there's big enough difference to justify the extra spinning cost. Now, if you're someone who's using these blowers for a bunch of like heavy duty yard work, okay, yeah, that extra turbo mode power on the 765 might come in handy, but still the 670 for doing yard work is going to be more than enough power you need. 765 really is just overkill. All right, so we're going to do a sound test between the two. Currently, I've got the 765 sitting up there. We're going to put it on its highest setting without turbo mode, and we're going to see how loud it is compared to the 670. So that was about right at 95 decibels. So the 765 was about right at 95 decibels. Now we've got the 670 CFM. Let's go put it. So the 670 CFM on the highest setting without turbo mode was actually louder, which is very interesting. Okay, so now we've got the 765 up there, and I'm going to test how loud it is on turbo mode with my decibel reader out here. So that was about right at 105 decibels, 765 with the turbo mode. All right, this is the 670 CFM on turbo mode. About 108 decibels for the 670 CFM. Now, what's interesting about both these blowers is that the 765 actually sounds way louder and like ear piercing than the 670. So I don't know if my decibel reader or something was just broken, but like I said, the 765 sitting over there in the corner by itself on turbo mode is way more ear piercing and sounds like a freaking like fighter jet taking off. Whereas this, you can use the turbo mode on this, like, you know, blowing leaves or whatever, and it doesn't hurt your ears. You don't need hearing protection. On the 765, even if you're just blowing leaves and using turbo mode, I would 100% recommend using hearing protection. I thought it was interesting that the decibel reader actually said this was louder. Really strange. So my concluding thoughts after comparing both of these blowers is that, one, there's not really a big difference in terms of drying power. The 765 maybe maybe dries your car off like a second, 2 seconds faster, but it's not life-changing by any means. What I did enjoy much better about the 765 is that since it's overall more evenly balanced, it's way easier to hold and way easier to maneuver when drying your car compared to this one. As you can see right here, it won't even balance. But this one is. Now you're probably thinking it's because I have the tip on here. Even if I take that off, it's still perfectly balanced. So this one's way easier to hold maneuver, especially because it has this big base down here. And for that reason, I'm gonna pick this one. But it all depends, you know, how comfortable do you want the blower to be? I would pick this one. Do you want a bigger battery? You know, I'd go with this one. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys in this video. If you found it helpful, be sure and leave a like and comment below saying how helpful this video was in helping you to decide which ego blower is right for you. Now, I also did an exclusive individual review on the 670 CFM. If you want to check that out, link top right corner of the screen. But with that said, thanks for watching, guys. And as always, stay glossy, my friend.